Hello everyone, my name's Joe. I'm a bag, jewelry and watch collector, and I also authenticate Hermes bags for myself, for my fellow bag investors, sellers, and auction houses. So today, actually I'm making this video right after the first one. I was like, I'm here already, let's just make a second one. I will show you the second bag that I bought this week, the past week. It's Evelyne, très petit modèle, très petit modèle, TPM. Some people call it Evelyne Mini, but the real name is Evelyne, très petit modèle, TPM, which means very small model. So again, it's this is actually, oh yeah, right. I didn't talk about this last time. In Hermes, you would get this when you buy a bag. I think a lot of people know. It's basically just a small brochure talking about how to take care of leather or whatever. But it's not like a certificate. Some people call it a certificate, and that's just weird. But Hermes never gave certificate. Because I think the idea of like certificate a bag with a piece of paper is just absurd. To me, it's absurd too. So again, if you find an Hermes bag with a certificate saying it's a real Hermes bag, well, then don't buy it. So yeah, but we can still see the same details as I talked about the last time. The details about on the box of the logo. See the fine lines of the whale, of the horse, of the person. Even here, look at the embossed paper, the wheels, the horse saddle, the person's clothes. You see all the details. If you don't see them, again, don't buy it. Same thing here, wheels, horse. Very often you would see just a vague whatever shadow things, like mochi thing, then no. You see the clothes, the pants, it looks so real. Oh, and also the stitching here I talked about. And the original one, the dust bag should feel more texture. This is actually the new dust bag. On older bags, they have different bags. What I can remember is they had this small velvet, very thick. On one side, it feels more velvet, brownish bag, and then before that, they had yellowish. It's not very well made, I would say, at that time. Maybe at that time it was very well made. It was like a yellowish fabric bag. I have them at home, so when I finish the trip, when I go home, I can show you all the different ages, different dust bags from different times. So this is the Evelyne Très Petit Modèle, TPM. Everyone knows this bag, right? So there's really not much to talk about. Actually, it's the first evening I bought. Not because I don't like the model. I just feel it's such a common model and everyone knows about it. Everyone has one and I don't need to have one. It's also because when I was living in Europe, these open bags are not a great idea for safety. Especially the bigger model, the 29, they are so big, so even you close them, a hand can go in without any problems. In the Parisian subway, well, you know what I'm talking about, right? So, but I did buy this one because one, it's a very small model, so I think it's safer with this closure. Also, most important reason, it's the belt. You can see it's one with special belt. This is actually the most beautiful Hermes belt I've seen, I feel. Just for information, the ones with special belt, they are more expensive. They're about, I would say 7% more expensive, depending on the model. Well, for this model, sorry. So it's about 100 euros something more expensive. You see the texture. I really like this. Feels like silver on it, so it gives quite interesting cachet, quite interesting character to this very normal bag model. Well, I know a lot of people love Evelyne. It's one of the most popular entry-level Hermes bags. Honestly, how would I put this? I don't want to sound snobbish. For many years, I have to admit that I considered it more like not worth buying one because of the low concentration of craftsmanship. No, again, don't take me wrong. All Hermes bags are very well made, very well crafted. It has the same edge paint. It has the same attention to details, but again, compares to the bags that I was buying, primarily Birkin, HAC, or Aguhua, Kelly, I felt it's not, well, but now it's getting so popular. It's getting so hard to get, and I was offered one and this special belt, so I just decided to get it, right? So as you all know, the Hermes shoulder belts, you can buy them separately and they are utterly expensive. They can be costing, like the fabric one, like 1,000 euros. Of course, this whole bag is, if I'm not mistaken, machine stitched. Yeah. Let me see here if it's hand stitched here. No, even here you can see it's machine stitched. Whenever you see the right slant, it's machine stitched. On the back, you have to check both the back and the front, because the hand stitched saddle stitch on both sides, it would be left slant. I talked about this in my last video, maybe for too long, but it's actually worth talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, so please go check the first video. What I like about the Hermes bag again is it's how careful they put things together, and I will show you maybe in my next video Louis Vuitton bag that I'm using. I have nothing against Louis Vuitton. I buy a lot of Louis Vuitton bags, especially the haute maroquinerie. Haute maroquinerie means high bags. Well, you know, in French we put haute, which means high, to certain words that make it like haute couture, which means the more better couture. So the haute maroquinerie line of Louis Vuitton, which was launched maybe about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 2011, 2012. I do get a lot of bags from that line, and also the special editions, the limited editions. I get them because I like how they look, or like how they are made, but the attention is definitely different. For example, for Hermes, you can see here it's actually glued to the leather. And I will show you the LV bags that I have with me. They are just left open, so with time it would come off a little bit, so it's not that elegant. The Hermes, they don't have that problem. Oh yeah, something I forgot to talk about last time. You know what? I'm gonna get that bag again. It's about the authentication thing. It's actually, a lot of people know about this, but I don't think I have encountered anyone who really knows why they're doing this for sure. You can see on the Hermes stitching, the edge, you see a line here between the edge and the stitches. It's omnipresent on all the edges. It's actually it's a very purposeful line. Some people would say it's to align these stitches so they can be straight. This is just ridiculous because if they really want to align this stitch, why don't they just stitch on the line, right? Or put the line a bit here and stitch on the line. So it's not that. There are people calling it the decorational line. I don't agree with that either because in fact, I know why it's there, but it's so complicated. I really don't want to get into it now. And also, I've tried to explain this to people without the help with leather pieces, like half-made bag leather pieces that we can never get, of course, from Hermes. I can't explain it very well, very clearly. But I've done the saddle stitch myself on Hermes leather with assistance of an Hermes artisan, so I do know why it's there. But just remember, this line should be present on all the edges, but it's very hard to observe. Once another friend who also does authentication said something like, on certain leather, it's very visible. For example, on box, on I don't know, Swift, especially when they are new. But on certain leather, even when they are new, if you can see it all the time, then it's not from Hermes. If you can never see it, of course, it's not from Hermes. You have to be able to see it sometimes under certain lights, certain angles, and sometimes you don't. Then it's from Hermes. This is Clémence leather. So it's actually the hardest one to see the line because it's very soft leather. So the line would actually disappear with the elasticity of the leather, but you can still see it. For example, here you can see a little bit, I believe, and you can see it normally here. Oh gosh, with this light, you can see it here. So it's there. If I mean on a video on a camera it's even more difficult, right? But you can definitely see it here. Here. Again, it should be everywhere. Just check your bag, especially the new ones. For example, here you can see it very well. You can see it very well. Check on your Hermes bag. You should be able to see it. But with time, they will get less visible, even for, oh, here you can see it very well. And also the weather condition in which the bag's used and stored. If it's very humid, and then for certain leather, especially leather like Clémence or like Togo, it will become very difficult to see. So something else about this bag that I can talk about. Oh yeah, right. Last time I talked about the logo, right? The Hermes logo. Again, there are authenticators who mainly based on the look of the logo to tell the conformity. I think that's just really absurd because again, however difficult this is to make, it is possible. We're talking about thousands and thousands of euros, even for certain bags, tens of thousands of euros or hundreds of thousands of euros. They can go to really good scanning and for stamping, right? So this is not the tell of element of authentication, especially if you restore the bag sometimes by a third party. They this logo would be you know, during the recoloring, even like with wax, it will disappear. Sometimes they would repaint. It happens a lot on older bags, like before the 80s, 70s. They would actually repaint this logo part, so it would become quite different looking. But when Hermes does it, I think Hermes now just try to avoid this part. If they really have to do it, they would just restamp it. That's what I few, because I do bring the bag to the Hermes spa a lot. So here, inside is of course the, I think it's still 2 pieces of leather put together, of course, it's Hermes. And the inside feels very soft. And also it's not that loose, it's not that glossy, so things would stay where they are more easily. It's le teint in suede, right, in English, le teint. Yep, so I think that's just basically what it is about this bag. It's a much shorter video because it's a simpler bag. Oh yeah, right, about Evelyne, they're on the first generation. Actually, the first generation of this small Evelyne, it's the shoulder belts, they are directly attached to it. There's no hooks. Yeah. So then the later version is this one with a hook. And then the bigger models, they have like Evelyne 1, Evelyne 2, Evelyne 3, depending on how many the adjustment that you can have. I don't like the latest one. Even it's very flexible. You can put them into different style. You can use it as a handbag. You can use it as a shoulder bag. You can carry it crossbody. I just think it's a lot of unnecessary details for a lot of unnecessary way of carrying such a simple bag. So yeah, so that's about it. So if there's anything I missed, you can actually let me know. I can always come back and talk about more about that. Again, what I try to do in my videos, I don't want to do like this, another common unboxing video. Oh, this is actually nice. It's a leather covered button. I don't want to do all this simple, stupid. No, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. The simple unboxing video, like, oh, I got this bag. Look how good it looks on me. I'm here for sharing knowledge. So again, this specific bag goes very well with Clémence, this specific leather. I do want to tell you more about the leather. There are a lot of good comprehensive guide of Hermes leather, but without the possibility of comparing them side by side under the light and touching them, it's very hard for someone to get a grasp of what is what. And also, I don't think it's a very, very important thing. You should always know there are like surface treated leather, such as the Epsom and the one Epsom replaced. What is it called? No, it's not Touillon. You know what? It slipped my mind. Epsom was the newer version of the first one. The other one, it's the green. It's, you see, Epsom. Sorry, Epsom is a grainy leather, but it has a very unified color. The other leather, I've got the name. The color that gets darker on the top of each grain, so it looks a bit more glossy. I like that one too. I like that leather too. It's just sometimes it feels under certain lights a bit plasticky. So I personally also prefer Epsom. I think maybe that's the reason why they discontinued it. Oh, about discontinuation of bag models. Hermes does it all the time, right? We all know that. But they also revive the models periodically. At the moment, there are 2 models which are very revived. One is, again, the first bag I talked about, the Oaguhua, the HAC. Now you have the version of the crossbody bag for men. You have this, you have really a lot of variations. Another model which has been revived is called the Good Lock. It's the one with just a chunky lock of it. I will try to Google it so you can see. I actually tried, you know what? I actually tried on one, but I didn't get it because one, I have a lot of Good Lock bags. Two, it's super expensive for what I feel very simple bag. It's this one. They call it now Saccadé Beige. The first version was really a Saccadé Beige, which means like a document carrier. And then they made the clutches of this model. I actually have a couple that I really like, the clutch. This one is like crossbody bag. It looks great on me. It's very relaxed style, but I feel one, it's super expensive for what it is, and two, it's 6,900 euros, I think, and two, this lock is very heavy. So I feel for small bag, I shouldn't go with those heavy ones. So again, so here the same thing happened. You see the stitching. This is, of course, all machine stitched. This part, the right slants, you can see it. You can see the line. You can see it very well, the line here. But here, on the outside, they actually try to make it appear it's hand-stitched. It's a left slant. But when you look at the back, it's right slant. So they stitched from this part. So from the, not really the back, but the less front side of the bag to give this looking. But but here, I'm very sure it's hand stitched. And also, actually, besides the direction, the left slant, right slant, it's actually also looks and feels different if you have done it yourself. The stitches, the hand one feels more tighter, feels more encrusted into the leather. The machine one feels more superficial. It's actually very easy to understand. On a grainy leather or on an exotic leather, when you're doing it by hand, you can adjust the tension of the thread yourself to reach a very even effect, tighter effect. But the machine, it has a preset tension. So when it's where there's a grain, it's the leather is harder, then of course it doesn't go as deep as certain other points. So is it really better the hand stitch? Well, I think so, because it is more resistant in time, but it's not that different. We shouldn't make too much of a fuss about this. I completely respect Hermes' decision of using more and more automated machinery. I think, well, that's just technology, right? And also, again, they develop their own machines, so their stitches on these bags, they are different from the other companies. They have the same, well, comparable quality to the hand stitches. But if you have observed vintage bag from the 50s, from the 70s, 60s, then you would see the hand stitching. They are actually completely hand stitched, some of them. Even those are very simple bags. So I do appreciate that high concentration of hand making of an object. So thank you very much for staying with me. Oh yeah, one more thing that I want to talk about. A lot of people actually keep the box of Hermes. They are absolutely right to do that. So when you actually, all the boxes, they are numbered. Can you see that? Here, it's numbered. Here's numbered. The Louis Vuitton boxes, they can be unfolded or folded into a flat board. Hermes ones can't. So if you decide to travel with a box, if you have to put it into your checked luggage, so don't travel it this way. This would actually, if you press it, this part, one of the 4 parts would come off. It would be cut by this because this is actually quite resistant. What you should do is to travel it this way and put a puffy or like more close or something big, not puffy, sorry, something higher here. If you put some puffy, like puffy things like a sweater or whatever, this would actually stretch the box this way. It would break here. So travel this way, put like books here, and then you are safe to go. So yeah, that's just a small tip that I want to share. Again, I'm all about sharing the knowledge and the tips. Oh yeah, look at here. I got a small like gift, like a perfume gift from when I bought one of these bags. I don't know which one. Even on this Hermes Parfumerie, it's the Hermes perfume. You can see the details, and you can feel the texture of the ribbon. So it's really not like, oh, it's just a perfume, so we don't. And sometimes in the non-authentic ones, you don't even see the 2 rings. Here, of course, there are 2 rings, and so yeah, you can still see the difference, fortunately, between authentic one, non-authentic one. Yeah, so that's for today. Thank you very much for watching. And and if you like the videos, just follow me and do a like. I will try to make 1 video every week when I have time, but I'm traveling a lot. I'm going to Brazil for a month, so I will maybe make some videos beforehand. Thank you. You have a nice day.